This is 351 network architecture. So most schools have a computer network. Some schools allow teachers to access the school network from their home computers. Give one reason why some schools allow this and one reason why some schools do not allow this. So if you think about the practicalities for a teacher, a reason for would be so that they could plan their work at home. To plan or lessons at home. You could also put that they could they could teach from home if they were ill or they couldn't get in for some reason. They can access all of their lessons from home. So that would be another good reason. Reason against is it could be a data protection issue. Because they may have access to sensitive data at home. So you'd have to be very careful that only the teacher access that data and nobody else in their household. So there's your reasons for and against. You've then got PANs and LANs, and they're two different types of network. It says describe one difference between a PAN and a LAN. Well, a PAN is a personal area network, and a LAN is a local area network. A PAN is just for one individual. A LAN is a small group of computers connected together over a small geographical location, so in one building, that kind of thing. So the difference is a PAN is for a single user. Then give one example of where a PAN could be used. So a PAN could be used to link a pedometer to a mobile phone, or anything on a smartwatch to a smartphone, or a Bluetooth headset to a computer. Anything like that will do, as long as it's remaining in that personal area network. Our next question is to discuss the key points surrounding the statement that's been given there. So it says, schools should use a wireless network instead of a wired network. Discuss this statement. So discuss the statement just means discuss the key points. So we've got to make sure that we're getting as many facts in there as possible about wireless networks and wired networks. And it says schools should use a wireless network instead of a wired network. So we've got to make sure as well we talk about schools in our answer and not just generalise wireless versus wired in our answer. So we've got to think about those key points. So I could start off like this, just by thinking about the sentence really. So there are many reasons why schools would choose to use a wireless network. Firstly, they might want outdoor subjects to use the network. So, for example, PE, wireless would give them the ability to do this. Secondly, students could use their own devices on the network, which would help in lessons where computers weren't available. Thirdly, there would be less wiring and sockets, which would make the environment safer. Trying to think of a fourth one now. Oh, they could expand it. So, finally, they could expand the network quickly and cheaply. Okay, whoops. So if you look at the key points that I've written so far, we've got 6 marks for this question. We need to discuss the statement, the key points, schools. So we've got to make sure we mention schools. Are we talking about should use a wireless network instead of a wired network? So I've put there are many reasons why schools would choose to use a wireless network. Firstly, they might want outdoor subjects to use a network, for example PE. Wireless would give them the ability to do this. Secondly, students could use their own devices on the network, which could help in lessons where computers weren't available. Thirdly, there would be less wiring and sockets, which would make the environment safer. And finally, they could expand the network quickly and cheaply. So at the moment, I've talked about the key points that show that the wireless option is a good option. So now I just need to put the opposite of that really, why wired networks might be better in this situation. So I could put something like, however, a wired network might be more suitable. This is because students might use graphics software that needed a high stable bandwidth. A wired network is also more secure. Oops. So I've now made 6 key points in my answer. So I've got, let's just get the red pen, just go over it. Whoops. Okay, so there are many reasons. So I've got, firstly, they might want outdoor subjects to use the network. For example, wireless would give them the ability to do this. So there's my first key point. Secondly, students could use their own devices, which would help in lessons where computers weren't available, so that's another key point. Thirdly, there would be less wiring and sockets, which would make the environment safer. Finally, they could expand the network quickly and cheaply. So I've made 4 main points there, and then if we look at the other side, we've got, however, a wired network might be more suitable. This is because students might use graphics software that needed a high stable bandwidth, and wireless doesn't always allow for that. And then a wired network is also more secure. Okay, so I've made 6 key points and I've discussed those key points. Right, so our next question is to take a look at a bus topology. So it says draw a diagram showing a full computer network using a bus topology. So a bus topology just goes in a straight line. So, and it's 4 computers. So I'm going to draw my line first. Like that. And then I'm going to have my 4 computers. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, oops, and there's 4. So I've got one central line going through, and I've got each workstation connected by a wire to that network cable. So the next one, Barnes Pest Control decides to use a star network topology. State 2 reasons why this type topology may not be the most suitable. So this topology here is for the same amount of computers. So if you had 4 computers in a star topology, it would use pretty much the same resources. It wouldn't be any faster because it's such a small network. It wouldn't actually be much faster. So a star network wouldn't be much faster than a bus because of it being a small network. You've then got the fact that a star network costs more money. So a star network is expensive to set up. So I've made 2 points there.